Chapter 2, baby! Oh my goodness. I gotta say, it is so good to be excited about Star Wars again. Those of you that know me know my dissatisfaction, you know my disappointment that I had in The Last Jedi, and then The Force Awakens, and then the whole sequel trilogy. I'm in a state of hope for The Rise of Skywalker, knowing that it's got a big mountain to climb for me to really buy into and love. So currently, it just feels so good for me as a fan for over 40 years to be in love again with something that's new with Star Wars. And The Mandalorian is doing that for me. It's awesome. This week is Chapter 2. It does not disappoint for me. Let's talk. I want to talk about a few things. First thing is the pacing. Some of the folks that I've seen online have been voicing complaints about pacing. They've complained about the walking through the desert and those kinds of things. It's very reminiscent. I can't speak because I'm eating an ice cream cone from Chick-fil-A sitting in their parking lot. It is very reminiscent of westerns back in the day, those old spaghetti westerns that you saw with Clint Eastwood, and not only that, but it's very reminiscent of A New Hope, if you guys remember that. I mean, just the walking that C-3PO and R2-D2 did through the desert, it's just borrowing from itself, and it's borrowing from the culture of that era back in the 70s. So I really like it. It reminds me of those old Clint Eastwood movies where the main character doesn't talk much, but you get to know him through his actions and his relationship to others. And I have no issue with the walking that some have voiced complaints about. The other thing is Baby Yoda. All right, let me talk about my prediction. Here's my prediction, and I voiced this on Instagram and Twitter. The Baby Yoda is a Yoda clone. That's my theory. If I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong, but I just love being able to speculate again and being happy and excited about speculating. So here's my reasoning. Dr. Pershing from Chapter 1 is tied into cloning and wants to test midichlorian hosts or something like that. Or this Baby Yoda is actually one of their subjects that they actually created, and someone stole it and they want it back. That's my guess. I think that what they're doing is they're potentially trying to build an army of Force users, and since this Baby Yoda is 50 years old, they had the DNA from somewhere. I think someone stole Yoda's DNA. Could have been Count Dooku, could have been someone. Could have been Sifo-Dyas. Who knows? I don't know. But somehow they got Yoda's DNA, and they created this baby clone. And I'm pretty sure Yoda did not know. How he didn't know, there was a lot of talk in the prequel era about how the dark side was clouding everything. So yeah, so I can see that. So, and I also believe that this whole cloning thing is leading us into the origins of Rey, and I'm thinking she's going to be a clone, and perhaps that is why we have a new or a returning emperor in The Rise of Skywalker. No idea how. I just think I'm theorizing that perhaps cloning is a result of that. And there's no better person to deliver this type of storytelling where the prequel stuff is intertwined with the original trilogy going into the sequel trilogy. No better person to help support and drive that than the master who sat at the master's feet, Dave Filoni. So these are all theories, but it's fun to actually speculate. All right, so let's talk about Force use. When I was watching and the Baby Yoda started using the Force, I knew this wasn't going to sit well with many of the folks dissatisfied with Rey not having been trained, like myself. But he's 50, so I was dissatisfied with Rey. But when I saw The Force Awakens, it startled me how quickly she was able to do certain things. But I was willing to suspend the natural history or whatever of Star Wars to see where they were going to take us in The Last Jedi. I figured they would start giving us some reasoning for it. I didn't see any in Last Jedi. That was a frustrating aspect. Who knows, maybe they'll deliver it in Rise of Skywalker. So I get that. Now, if you look at the history in Star Wars of Force use, Anakin had Jedi reflexes by nature with pod racing, as did Luke with shooting womp rats, being able to fly through Beggar's Canyon without a scratch, those kinds of things. So it's not unheard of. Granting Baby Yoda 50 years plus the high midichlorian count, it makes sense that he would be able to do stuff. Rey, we have yet to see anything or be granted any knowledge as to why she's so skilled. So this storyline here may be the beginning of the explanation that Rey is a clone. Huge kudos and huge nod to Nick Nolte as the Ugnaught. I'm not sure how to say this name, and I think I missed it. Kuill, Kuill, Quill, whatever. Seriously love this character, and superbly delivered by Nick Nolte. I hope he comes back. I hope that somehow he makes a return. Such a great addition to the mythology, and the fact that it's an Ugnaught is awesome. He helps create a sense of honor to the Mandalorian when he offers part of the reward, and he's also a great playoff of, or he's a great way for the Mandalorian for us to discover more about the Mandalorian and how he interacts with him. Next thing, the Jawa return was so good. Fan service done right. Nods to the Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. That was awesome. And giant nod to Super Star Wars Nintendo game. If you were like me and you stayed up till 4 in the morning in the early 90s trying to defeat the Sandcrawler level, you know what I'm talking about. That was perfect. It was awesome. It was so good to see that. So let me wrap up by saying this. To my fellow frustrated Star Wars fans, I get it. You don't want to swallow the pill Disney is giving us because they don't deserve your money. I don't disagree with you. They don't. Believe me, as a chain block Twitter user by several Star Wars authors and more, I'm just as frustrated. However, the way I'm approaching this is that when they do something right, I want them to know. And I believe that with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, they need to know that they are delivering us something that is good and something that is right. So I just want to say, you can protest if you like. I totally get it. I don't begrudge you for that. I think I understand. I won't stop you. I can't anyways, and I don't blame you. But I'm going to make sure, for me, I'm going to make sure that my voice is heard when they give the fans something we can love. So if you're on that fence and you keep going, oh, I don't know, I want to, let me just be the voice that tells you, I have been where you're at. It's okay. I encourage you, download Disney Plus. If you want to just wait until all of them are available, watch them all at once, and then you can unsubscribe. I'm just telling you, these guys, Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, they are worthy of us telling them thank you. That's my belief. They are delivering us something that we can love, something we can adore, something we can be excited about. It doesn't fix my sequel trilogy. I don't even know what the word is. My sequel trilogy non-interest. But this is exciting, and this is so fun for me to be able to talk about again. So I just want to encourage you, give it a shot if you're on that fence. Hey, thanks so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please take a moment and give it a thumbs up, and maybe consider following the Kansas Geek Man channel. You can also find me on Instagram and Twitter over at KSGeekMan.